Rugby is a sport that I've never really understood. It's a fast and violent game that is certainly not everyone's cup of tea.
I don't want to get in the way of anything, any balls.
When I think of rugby, I think of aggression, an excuse for violence, severe injury and toxicity which inevitably impacts mental health. Throwing judgment on something I don't understand isn't exactly fair. I want to take a deeper dive into the sport, its culture and its players. Why play a sport that you'll inevitably get injured from? So, rugby, it's not really a sport that I understand. I don't know too much about it. I never grew up around rugby and I have a lot of misconceptions about the sport, hearing all sort of the associations and like the violence and the injury and everything that comes with the sport. I can't quite grasp why people want to go out, throw themselves onto a pitch where, to me, it comes across like there's so much toxicity and so much like, you know, alpha male energy there. I don't quite understand why you want to throw yourself into it and potentially, you know, get really injured. So it's something that I would like to explore and that I'm interested in learning more about. So yeah, I guess this is my journey. I discovered Haslemeres Rugby Club, a grassroots local community club that takes in a variety of players young to old. I've made contact with coach Dan Brockhurst, who's kindly invited me down to watch one of their training sessions and follow their journey. I'm hoping that standing by we're able to answer some of my questions about the sport, and talking to a few of the players will increase my understanding of rugby and why those choose to play it despite the risks.
Tonight is largely run by the team. We are preparing for a quarter final on Saturday. Tonight is basically our match prep for that.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at the strategy we're going to play, we're going to look at how we want to approach the game.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we feel really good about our game. Tonight's not about can we get better technically, tonight's about just
like practicing for
can we get it
Saturday.
Really smooth.
Yeah.
We like to walk away from Thursday going, that felt really good.
Yeah.
Because then we walk into Saturday thinking
way more confident and everything. Yeah.
Confidence is high.
Yeah.
What they'll do tonight is they'll warm up like they're doing at the moment. So I don't normally go out there till 7:30.
Yeah.
That's the first half an hour is just their time to chat, make sure everyone's okay, throw it all around, get silliness out of the system, and that type of stuff. Sometimes we finish playing against the Colts.
Oh, okay. Against the
Colts.
The Colts?
Yeah.
Who are they?
So the Colts are our 16, 17 and 18-year-olds.
Oh, okay. That must be quite fun then. Must be absolutely freezing. I have no idea what they're doing here. Yeah, Dan, how's it going?
It's going really well.
Yeah?
Yeah. They look quite sharp.
I know, they get really into it. Of course.
That's the culture that they have here.
Yeah.
So we're going to play 3 8-minute games. They should learn from the first and the second what works in terms of what they've got in front of them tonight, and then adapt. And then adapt that. There goes that one.
And then they can adapt. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll just put
right.
That
I'm going to need to get back out there.
Yeah. You go for it. You go for it. Guys, this isn't my umbrella. It's a bit embarrassing. I mean, they're really, really getting into it, considering this is just a training game. I don't think anyone is giving minimal energy right now. It seems very serious for a training game. They're saying something like red left. I don't don't really know what is going on, to be honest, but I'm guessing red left. Whoever's in red's got to go left. I don't know. I've got no idea. Hello. Sorry, hiya, I'm Phoebe. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Louis.
Louis. Like, what is going on? What's left? What's red left? Left.
So it's different calls from a breakdown.
Right.
So the ball goes down, so
Yeah.
you kind of reset your attack. So how you're going to move from that point.
Okay. Have you had any serious injuries? Lots. Lots.
Yeah.
What's your worst?
I think I was playing sevens for college when I was 18. I rolled my ankle as someone jumped on my back. Just like snapped.
Yeah. What makes you come back to the pitch then if you can face such
I think it's
intense injuries?
I'm a bit of an idiot anyway. I've had a lot of injuries outside of rugby anyway, so I don't think of it as like, oh my God, I've been hurt, that's it. I can't do this thing ever again.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of my injuries have come when I was at uni or college. Where if you don't do rugby, you're not friends with them.
Yeah.
Out with them, you don't spend time. So it's like a culture that builds into just like strong friendships.
Yeah.
Which is really nice to have.
If it feels that intense, them running towards me on the sidelines, I wonder what it feels like being in the game. I can kind of see where all that aggression comes from and like the competition. And you can definitely see how there would be some head injuries.
Since I'm interested in the extreme injuries that the players face, I'm meeting Haslemeres first aider Holly to understand a little bit more about the importance of her role in such an intense sport.
Last game I was medicing, I had one of our players came over like this, holding his ear, and I thought, oh, he's like cut his ear, that's fine.
Yeah.
So like maybe hand weight, he torn from here down to there, and I was like, oh, okay, like a bit more.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like,
how?
Someone's boot had got on top of the ear in a ruck, and just like clawed down, just tore his ear down.
Oh my God, that is
So
horrible.
It's not actually bone, it's just like cartilage, it just ripped. He's like, I don't know how bad it is, I don't know how bad it is. Like, oh, can you just tape it up and I'll play on? I was like, no, your ear's like 2/3 off.
Jeez.
And he's like, oh. Because when they come off, they have so much adrenaline that they always think the pain's not really that bad. Even if they're in a lot of pain, they're like, I'm like, okay, well in 5 minutes your adrenaline's going to go and then we're going to get your real pain taken. So like, I have some really big injuries and not realise how bad it is, or they're so used to getting knocks and niggles that when they get a bad one, they don't realise like, oh, that one's not just another like bruising, that's something more.
Oh my gosh.
I think because last season we were going for promotion, they were putting a lot of pressure on themselves because they were getting like winning more and more, so they were like, just break through, just keep going. So they were like, the mental was definitely overriding the physical. And I'd see people during the week and on the Sunday and be like, that looks really painful. They're like, oh no, it's fine, bit of tape. So what tape seems to be their running theme.
And again, it's the sort of same question that I pose, is like, why would you put like your life at risk if it's, you know, just for the game? Like,
for them it's a hobby, it's fitness, and I guess if you limit yourself because of something that could happen but might never happen, and you're generally kind of fit and well, then
what's the point in not doing it?
Exactly.
Guys, just so you know, I am aiming to put team sheet up for in terms of playing
Hi guys, thank you for coming and joining us today. So, obviously I understand that you are the captain of Haslemeres Rugby team and you're the first aider. So you guys come as an iconic duo. So when did you start playing rugby?
So I started playing probably about just over 4 years ago now. Decided to come down to the rugby club and been there ever since.
And as first aider, obviously, you've seen lots of injuries.
As Holly will tell you, I am the worst patient in the world because I just want to get on and play.
Why is that?
I think it comes down to So the lads just want to do their best for the other 14 players on the pitch, plus our replacements. Obviously, when it comes to the more serious injuries, then that, if they want to play on, then that's vetoed by Holly, number one, but also Dan and I.
Do you feel there's like pressure to stay on? Do you feel like there is pressure, or is it more of yourself?
I would say it's more internalised pressure. It's never from anyone else. Like that, Dan and Holly would say that stop. But I think it's just something in me that's just like, no, come on, I need to keep going here. Which I'm slowly getting there into realising that if I'm not 100%, then that's going to lead to the detriment of the team, and that's not something that I want.
So what about head injuries? Because obviously they're,
they're
kind of...
If we see a head knock, me and Dan will be like straight over to like assess, and if the refs are really good actually about calling it and saying, I saw him knock his head, and sometimes be like, it didn't knock my head, it was my shoulder, so we'll check, and then what I'll do is I'll just watch that player for most of that game or for the period, so then me and Dan will have a lot of conversations with the sideline whilst the players still matches ongoing, and I will just watch them for concussion symptoms and how they're presenting. We had a joke last season because Danny, they thought he had knocked his head, he was fine, but the ref said, oh, he's really slow to get up, and I said, he's just slow, sir. But it's knowing the players, and that's something that I, spend a lot of time with. It's like, actually, they are a bit slow to get up normally, that's their normal rate, or actually he normally springs back up and he's not. And I call it Bambi legging when they're like all over the place, even in Cox level and under, they'll always shout head. They won't just shout like my name, they'll be like, it's head. So you just spread.
Yeah, it's a lot more serious.
Yeah.
In that case,
And like, maybe don't just take them as saying they're fine because it's a head injury. And we make sure to change up the questions and things because there's set questions you should ask, but like the boys are very good at learning the answers. I mix them up because I'm like, well, you learned that, so we're gonna keep it up. Well, there were some more players, some of his answers were apparently too challenging, some of the questions. Especially after Christmas, we ask them what the date is, they're like, I don't know, sometime in December. So, it's not, in the nice ways, rugby is great, but it's not worth it. It's not worth losing what you can for that.
But because you're in like that state of like, I'm not playing rugby, everything hurts, I don't really get why. Because you're in like that state of like, I'm not playing rugby, everything hurts, I don't really get why. Like, you're a bit dazed. All I really want to do is like, go back and play rugby, and everyone's like, no, but because you're in like that state of like, I'm not playing rugby. Everything hurts. I don't really get why. Like, you're a bit dazed. All I really want to do is like go back and play rugby, and everyone's like, no, you have to take 4 weeks out.
Why did you want to go back like so soon? It's just.
I think it's a lot.
Do you think it's a lot like? Do you feel like
I was trying to prove something?
I was going to say, do you think it has to do, like with proving that you can?
You want to be tough.
You want to be tough, and you want to.
How long have you been playing rugby? Why did you start? What's the backstory?
So I've been playing rugby most of my life, on and off. I started for Haslemeres when I was really small, because my dad played for Haslemeres as well throughout the 90s, early 2000s. It was basically it was always the family sport. My dad played it from when I was a kid, so that was basically it. Watching him, watching games with the family, that was it.
So it's always been something that's like in the family, quite
Yeah.
Okay. Had a head injury.
What
happened?
So
What's
it was
the story?
Earlier this season in October, we were playing away against Woking, and it was actually against a friend. Well, it was against my own teammate. We both went for the same tackle, and I've gone round one side, he's gone round the other, and we've ended up just kind of wrapping around and my forehead to the side of his head. He denies it to this day, but he was out cold. He was asleep on the floor. I've seen him, and I've seen blood on his head, so I've gone, oh shit, am I bleeding? Felt it, and I thought, oh no, it's just sweat. But I went, oh my god, I've dented my head. Went to hospital. They thought I'd fractured my skull, smashed my sinuses open. I had a nosebleed. I was throwing up. Pretty dizzy. Felt quite shit, as you can imagine. But miraculously, I had a CT scan and. No fractured skull, but they thought I'd had hydrocephalus again. So
right, and so what's that? What happened?
So that was when I was a baby. I had hydrocephalus, which is you've got ventricles in your brain. One of the aqueducts is too tight, it doesn't drain properly, so your brain swells. They looked at the scan and thought my brain had looked swollen again, but it wasn't. It had just swollen when I was a baby, so it's not. It's never going to go back down.
I'm off to Grayshot, where I've kindly been invited by Harry's parents, Andy and Sally, to discuss their thoughts on Harry playing rugby despite his hydrocephalus and the risks that come with him playing.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. Lovely to meet you.
I'm Sally.
Sally. Hiya. Nice to meet you. I'm Phoebe. Hello. How are you guys? Talk to me about Harry. No. Where does his love for rugby come from? And to start playing the sport.
Well, we tried to encourage him to start playing when he was quite young, didn't we? He was about...
Well, yeah, I always played. So, and his elder brother was introduced to rugby as well.
Yeah.
When he was young. So I was playing when he was born.
Yeah.
Not literally when he was born. But
might be a bit dangerous.
around the time when he was born.
When he was young, this condition was picked up when he was 6 weeks old. Obviously, when baby's born, they measure the circumference of the head and all the rest of it. Yeah. Well, in 6 weeks, Harry's head had grown too big, basically.
Really?
Yeah, it had gone off the 100th centile, but yeah, he'd gone off the scale, basically.
Right.
So the health visitor said, don't want to worry you, but his head's grown a little bit more than it should.
Yeah.
It may be a condition called hydrocephalus.
Right.
And sure enough, instead of having two little, ventricles like this, his ventricles were very large and full of fluid. And on the Monday morning, sure enough, Harry went into surgery, and it was a freezing cold day, wasn't it? February. And we wandered around Wimbledon, just worried sick, wondering what on earth was going to happen. Anyway, long story short, the operation was very successful. And then basically he was discharged because
he was functioning.
He was functioning normal. Well, this is Harry we're talking about.
Normally in quotations.
But no, he was functioning. Yeah. His brain was functioning perfectly normally.
Yeah.
We were hoping that he would become a rugby player when he grew up. And
is that through you, Andy? Is that kind of?
Well, yes. I mean, it was always an aspiration. Because it was up to him at the end of the day, but.
It was just the whole sort of the whole rugby culture that we enjoyed.
Yeah.
And to have a son, we just thought it'd be wonderful to try and get him into
growing up in the area and everything.
Yeah, and get him into a sport. That's great fun, really.
So what were the repercussions then? What did the doctors say about his condition?
It was basically the only advice we got was that it should be okay, but should just wear a scrum cap.
Yeah.
And that was more to do, not with what was wrong with him, but because where they'd had to go into the skull, it might have been a little bit of a weak spot.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it is worrying. It's not nice when you're watching the game and you see your boy get injured. But then you think, well, there's protocols in place, and then if you're not well enough, then you stay off the field.
Why put yourself out onto a pitch that can cause such repercussions? Because it's
fun.
fun.
People enjoy it. People enjoy it, and that and that's why I play, because I enjoy it. Enjoyed the game. Enjoyed the comradeship.
Yeah.
And the social side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody forces you to play. If you don't want to play, don't play.
Yeah.
You've got to realise that if you do play, you can try and mitigate the risks, but there's always a risk you're going to get injured. And if you aren't prepared to take that, don't play.
But no, it's a bug.
Yeah, you can completely understand.
Yeah,
yeah.
It really is. Yeah. Gosh, the times we've stood on a freezing cold touchline and layers and layers of clothes. It's so cold.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You feel that you've got to do it.
Yeah. What is it that drives you guys, consistently to play on things?
I would say it's probably for me. It's probably like an outlet, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So like going out and like chucking yourself about a field for 80 minutes on a Saturday is like, because I've only just started getting into the gym because I've been injured. But apart from that, I don't really do any other sports. So that's like my kind of outlet. And especially I'll just be on my desk all day. And I'll be like, like Tuesday, Thursday, get out, just go charge around a pitch, and then I'm fine.
do you feel like responsibility of that as captain, like to ensure that everyone kind of is on there, like it is on sort of, you know, obviously they're top form playing, but then also like mentally.
I'd like to think that we've built a really open environment where it doesn't just need to be players coming to me, it can be players going to another player or someone that they feel comfortable having a conversation with if they feel that they need to have those types of conversations. And it's really important that those conversations are had. Not just from a rugby perspective, but a life perspective as well. And I know that I've had times when I've had to kind of drop someone a message, knock on someone's metaphorical door and go, look, I just need to have a chat here, do you mind?
Rugby is all about the social aspect. We go and beat each other up on the pitch. And then we come in here and we have match teams, we drink together, we talk about it, we laugh. We have stand-up speeches, we always thank each other for coming. Rugby's not about going and hurting people. It is a physical contact sport. There are things that happen in a game, and there are tempers get frayed every now and then. But the minute the whistle's gone, the game's over. But it's the core values of the game.
Sounds like they had a good training session. Seems like the session went well. No injuries. So yeah, I guess this will be last time they play together before Saturday, and they have their bigger game. But yeah, everyone seems very high spirited. Good vibes in the air. Everyone's stunning. It's actually really sweet.
It's so lovely.
It is really sweet.
When I first came down, just like used to watch Danny.
Yeah.
And there was like no one else on the sidelines. I was like such a loner.
Yeah.
Like, rugby widow, as they say. And, it's just come on so much in the last 4 years since he started.
Yeah.
Like it's lovely. Like I'm so proud of them, and they definitely deserved to go up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But they are the nicest team. Like we play some interesting characters.
Yeah.
And they're interesting characters, but like they always say to each other, "I'd die for you on this pitch."
Yeah.
Like, I'd literally die for you on this pitch. Everyone together, like in front and behind. Like they're so cute.
That is really cute. Yeah, you can definitely see it's brotherly love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our brothers.
Good, sweet. You can do that with a hangover after a win on Saturday, that's fine. You get a free burger for it. Oh, do it. You didn't even have cheese. Oh, spoiling it. No cheese. Alright, let's go for a special kit goes in, please.
And now they all come back, have some food. Yeah.
Drinks.
How lovely is that? That is really cute. Don't know which way the club is.
Well, we've essentially decided that to keep players coming on nights where it's really wet, we feed them.
Is that just something that the club provides then? Who kind of funds it?
The club funds it.
Just the club funds it, yeah. And is that for all of like anyone that comes, or is it more for like dinner time? Like
Honestly, it's anyone that walks through this door sits down with the squad tonight.
Yeah, that's really nice. That makes it like a lot more of like a communal thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, we are possibly the only club that I know of that has the word community in there.
Really? What is the title?
It's Haslemeres Community Rugby.
Oh, nice. She's so cute. And these are your friends. What the sense of community that comes with the sport. I mean, you know, they have like very personal relationships with everyone out there, and there's a good, it looks about 20 to 30 men out there. You know, and the community just seems like obviously a main reason why most of them come back to play the sport, and why, you know, a concussion here and there isn't too much of a drama when you have a really good support system and a love for the sport. So, yeah, it's really interesting. It's match day, baby. So we are in Farnham for today's match. It's Saturday, it's game day. And yeah, we're gonna go and meet the boys and see how they're feeling. So I'm on my way to watch the match. It's already kicked off, I think, so... Oh,
Yeah.
So the greens and the greys, they are mindset.
Mindset sport, yeah.
Cool. Oh, it's got to try. It's got to try.
No, that was back off him.
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good, how are you? I'm good. Nice to see you again. We just scored, didn't we?
Go on, George. Yeah, the plan out there's quite straightforward.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game, go and have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Play some rugby.
Exactly. Get them busy.
Don't get injured doing anything silly.
What's the likelihood of that?
In charity games, it's a lot higher than it is in a normal league game.
Yeah. Why is it so cold in there? Okay.
Have you seen the size of their front row?
Who? What?
Their front row. You've seen the size of their front row.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm going to poo myself when I go on. That's what I mean.
Harry, you can't get weight a bit more in the here.
If they hold it in the scrum.
How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah, we're winning, aren't we?
We I don't think we are.
We're not?
I think
I
they
thought
scored.
I thought we scored 3. Oh.
We will win.
Expecting any injuries? Or had there been any? There haven't been any. No?
It's been one thumb out. We've put it back in.
I'm out. What do you mean?
So he's dislocated his thumb.
Ooh.
But he's
Nice.
popped it back in.
Ooh. And he's still playing?
Yeah.
Was that on our team or?
Yeah.
Start until we had technical difficulties, you know. No, it's fine.
Sick, mind, squeeze, set, 9. No, push, no, two. That's it, man. That's it, man.
Oh boy. I don't know what else would help.
This one? Yeah. No. So if I get all the way down there. Do you get shin split?
I used to all the time. I haven't had them yet. Oh, fuck me.
You know, do you not score it? Oh, dear.
29.
To
Min.
29-10. That's been a bit of a jump from a 3.
Should have come off sooner.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Was that his head?
No, that was like shoulder and thumbed in shoulder.
Ready now.
Fine.
Blue going forward, so we'll scrum down and restart the game with a blue ball. Well, boys. Yeah, so can we just have a moment? We've got to now.
Hello.
Hi.
They just scored and stuff.
Yeah, they just scored and just converted. I think that should be the end of the game.
What? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you know the final scores?
60 something to 40 something, I think. To us, I think.
To us?
We haven't really been keeping track of the scores, to be honest. It's a charity game, so it doesn't really matter.
It's cute that they get around again. So I think this just finished. It was a really good game. Everyone looked like they had a lot of fun. There was no major injuries, which is obviously a plus. I think a few people, someone pulled out his thumb. Louis obviously got his head hit. I think a couple people may have torn a few bits and bobs. But apart from that, not even by bits and bobs, apart from that, yeah, it was a really good game. It was so fun to watch. So obviously you guys all just saw the game went really well. Everyone seems really high spirits, good energy. All my misconceptions and thoughts of the sport have actually really changed throughout filming. I feel like, you know, it's a huge sense of community. Everyone seems to basically be one another's second family, and it's really sweet. It's quite touching, and I think today just showed that the game today. You know, everyone coming here after having a couple of drinks, a bit of food, chit chat. You know, regardless of what happens on the pitch, regardless of the head injuries, regardless of, you know, crashing into one another and any anger and aggression that may come out on pitch, it does not get brought home afterwards. And in fact, you know, it's all just about, you know, respect and just being there for one another. And, you know, it's taught me a lot. So thank you to Haslemere and Mindset Sport as well. Yeah, it's been great. It's been fun.